Happy morning, my dear brothers and sisters.
Sir, good morning.
Happy morning,
Happy morning,
everybody.
sir.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, extremely sorry. Yeah, two things. First, I have not shared the notes yesterday. I was held up. Today, I'll be sharing along with returns and payments valuation and also for input tax credit. That is tomorrow's session. I will share the notes today itself. I'm extremely sorry, my dear brothers and sisters. I hope you can manage. Absolutely, my fault. I should have managed it, and I got a reminder, but late evening I could not manage the time. Nevertheless, my dear, that is how we run across. And my dear brothers and sisters, we will be sharing the notes today without fail. So everybody will be getting, and for sure, விஜயராகவன் சார் சாரி நான் எல்லாருக்குமே அனுப்புறேன்னு சொல்லியிருந்தேன் நேற்று கொஞ்சம் ஹெல்டப் ஆயிடுச்சு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டிஸ்க்ளைமர் ஐம் சாரி ஃபார் தட் ஓகே செகண்ட் மார்னிங் வி காட் சம் டெக்னிக்கல் இஷ்யூஸ் ஐ குட் நாட் லாக் இன் earlier because the host key was is getting keep rejected, okay, and that's why we got delayed by a good 10-15 minutes time. So without wasting much of time, I straight away want to get into the priority area, right? And yesterday after the class was over, I just got a small conversation with one of our participants over here. Of course, I got three calls, of which one of the call asked me, sir, why you are starting with volume 2, why not volume 1? See, everybody focuses more in volume 1 here, mark my words. You guys are focusing extremely less in volume 2. That is why I'm started for, whereas marks are certainly coming from volume number 2. I can say for sure this four chapters what I listed from volume 2 will work around to 15 to 20 marks. Can you say the same assurance to volume number 1? Oh, I'm sorry, it's my little kid, it's screen crying. Okay, so I'm sorry guys, that's the inherent limitation of online session. I'm coming into your home, you're coming into my home, so obviously we have to tolerate this. Okay, so getting into the mainstream, so this is the reason why I'm focusing on this easy scoring area, but we are not actually scoring up to the level. So, nevertheless, my dear, to compensate, today's session will go up to 115. Let me very clearly say, because we logged in around 10:17. So I just want to say today we will be going up to 115 or 120 to compensate and to ensure we are achieving our target. So the mainstream target for the day is to complete returns, payments, and to touch upon valuation. Three important areas we are covering today. The collective weightage is again 15 to 20 marks for the day. Okay. Let's start with the first one, my dear brothers and sisters. We will go the returns chapter, and these are the pickup areas which we are going to discuss for the examination. Yes, I maintain my status. My dear brothers and sisters, please regroup yourself. Let's start fresh. I completed, and any doubts in any doubts in registration and tax invoice, debit note, credit note, e-payable chapters, whatever we discussed yesterday. Any carry forward doubts? My dear brothers and sisters, any carry forward doubts?
Sir, no, sir.
Okay, if that be the case, I'm really happy for you guys. So I'm taking you to day 2. I'm taking you to day 2. So we completed day 1. Let me mark it as day 1. Let me mark it as day 1. This is day 2. Okay, it's a warm beginning of day 2. The target of day 2 we have set on a high note to complete returns chapter, payment chapter, and valuation chapter. Three important set of documents, three important set of chapters we have kept. I'm reiterating this, all topics are important, these topics are more important, that's it. So I'm not saying these are expected areas for the examination, prepare only this. No, I'm not Jadukar, again I'm repeating the same. Okay, these are extra important. When you sit for day before examination, topics what I have to revise first, sir, to ensure I'm covering with the latest updates, to ensure the latest amendments, and I'm successful in my preparation without taking pressure. And also please remember, it is not possible to prepare 100% or revise 100% syllabus a day before examination. Therefore I'm forced to give you the priority areas and not important expected examination areas. Remember, there is a difference, sir. Important examination areas, expected questions and soltena, you will prepare only this. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. Nobody is a jadukar to give you a CA Institute examination question to you guys. Okay, I am speaking wholeheartedly, genuinely at your interest. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I want you to give this as a top priority. Balance all figure. Balance all figure. You give second priority to complete. Am I loud and clear? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Every one topic is
Yes, sir.
important. Every one problem in ISM is important. Every single book back question is important. Every RTP question is important. Every mock test question is important. There is no second thoughts. There is no second thoughts. But these areas are priority areas. Focus in these areas. Right, my dear? Yesterday, after completing, e-invoice, we straight away tried on few questions on e-invoice in current RTP as well. We will try to repeat the same thing in returns chapter and also in the payment chapter after completing this area. Now, let's straight away get into first learning for the day. Returns chapter, the first priority, what I'm supposed to do, sir? Returns chapter, the topmost priority you have to look into is Qrmp, quarterly return and monthly payment. Sir, in this what can be tested, sir? My dear, this consists of 6 phases. This consists of totally 6 phases. Okay, we will be discussing that phase by phase by phase by phase by phase. What is this? What is the applicability? How to opt for it? How migration works on? And what is the time limit to opt? What is the validity when I can come out? And what is the compliances I have to do if I don't comply with it? What is the fees? What is the penalty, late fee, interest I am suffering? So these are the 6 phases. My dear, I expect a question being early days. This is the second examination where Qrmp is going to come. So I expect last examination they have tested you on the first phase. So my guesswork, I'm not sure about it. My guesswork wherein I would press upon you please square up yourself. You please square up yourself on all the 6 phases and get prepared in every phase. You might be asked, I'm not sure, you might be tested because practical compliance, if I want to insist, I will go to 5th phase and 6th phase. Or if I want to theoretically make you strong, I will ask you on eligibility and opting in and validity. 3 important areas I can ask you a question with. Right, my dear? So these are the areas wherein I can work upon. These are the areas wherein I can work upon. Everybody, my dear, is it clear? So let's go ahead straight away and take up the question on returns chapter. Here we go, my dear brothers and sisters. Here we go, my dear brothers and sisters. First up, have a look at this. First, with respect to returns. Have a look at these are the sections which you are going to cover. My dear brothers and sisters, in this GST practitioner is a MCQ area, and I would suggest you, I would share, even rather I would say I would share link for it wherein you can revise GSTP in 8 minutes. Okay, that will be beneficial for you if you don't want to skip that topic, because some 8 to 10 pages in the ISM it will go, or in my own notes I'll be going for 3-4 pages. So a theoretical class rather than a practical dissemination will be more helpful. So now straight away looking into the common sense approach, my dear, have a look at this. How it works. I'm breaking down with the common sense approach. Majority of the people in this country, when I take who is registered for GST, so majority of the registered person will get covered by these two schemes. Majority of the person will be a normal supplier or he will be a composition scheme. If you are a small person, you might be a composition scheme supplier. That's a very popular scheme there. Section 10 thoroughly discusses along with rule 3 to rule 7. So you would have enjoyed the sequence. The MCQ area in composition scheme supply being validity of the composition scheme and opting in, centralized opting and centralized exits policies, prevention from issuing a registered tax invoice, prevention from collection of tax, declaration on face saying composition scheme supplier ineligible to collect tax, prevention from collection of ITC. These are all some of the pick areas wherein you may be tested. Sir, probleme test பண்றாங்க sir. They can test you on the problem of whether you are eligible for composition scheme or not. These are the popular ways and means in which you can be tested upon in this particular area. Right, my dear? So coming to the normal supplier category. Normal supplier means a supplier who is paying the tax under section 9. Whereas composition scheme supplier means a person who is paying tax under section 10. Both are parallel levies. Exception to this is RCM. RCM is over and above both section 9 and section 10. Anybody who attracts RCM, they are liable to pay the tax under 9(3). Right, my dear? And so is the 9(4) if the criteria are satisfied. Now looking into the normal supplier. Sir, normal supplier, how return obligation has to come. See, yesterday we saw the registration and tax invoice obligation. That is to say, who is liable to register, and that person needs to maintain what records? Maintaining records is sufficient, sir? No. By what is the purpose of maintaining the records? Record maintenance and preparing the books of accounts is to communicate the government how much business one have done. And my dear brothers and sisters, prepare the mindset. When I say normal supplier, these are business people. These are businessmen. So businessman in indirect taxation perspective acts as an intermediary who collects tax and pay to the government. Am I right or wrong, my dear? Are able to understand? See the perception. What is the difference between direct tax and indirect tax? Direct tax la incidence of tax and burden of tax both will be in the hands of my dear, I anticipate a participation from you. Come on. Both will be in the hands
Taxpayer.
of a taxpayer. Only one person called assessee. Both will be in the hands of the assessee. But look at indirect taxation. Seetharaman, Vijay Raghavan, and Harini, and all of us will be paying Puja. All of us will be paying the tax. We are all consumers. But are we paying directly to the government? No. We are paying it to whom? Businessman.
Yes. Businessman.
We are paying to the businessman, and in turn, businessman is paying it to whom? Government. And why is there this discrimination? Indirectly, why I am paying? Why it is popularly called as indirect tax? Because burden of tax indirectly shifted to the consumer. Consumer is paying indirectly tax for the product to the government through the intermediary called businessman. Appo, what is the role of this normal supplier? How much purchase he has done, how much sales he has done, he has to give us a clear vicious cycle. While asking so, the first question coming into the picture is, as a normal supplier, what is your aggregate turnover? Sir, if the aggregate turnover is up to 5 crores, you are entitled to something called Qrmp, quarterly return and monthly payment scheme. Whereas it has some compliance. Sir, is it compulsory to opt for Qrmp scheme? No, my dear. Look at this iteration. It is optional. You can opt for Qrmp or you can decide not to opt for Qrmp. That is your choice. And sir, if I not opted for Qrmp, where I will go, sir? You will become a monthly compliant. That means every month you have to supposed to file the GSTR 1 and then GSTR 3B accordingly. Guys, are you with me? Are you all comfortable?
Yes,
See,
Yes,
what
sir.
is the schema, sir? How the schema
Yes,
will
sir.
work, sir? Sir, Qrmp, how the schema works? Monthly compliance, how the schema works? What is the difference? Let me first help you with the schema and then I'll go deeper into the scheme. See, under Qrmp, the compliance means first you need to furnish the details of outward supply via invoice furnishing facility if you want, or you can file the quarterly GSTR 1. So, what is the reality? First, you have to tell your liability. What is liability? Tax on sale. Tax on sale or tax on outward supply. The tax on outward supply, how much you have sold. Sir, why this facility has been brought in, sir? IFF is the only cherry on top of the cake in this particular scheme. Barring this, there is no special aspects about Qrmp. It is a routine compliance. This is the only facility extended to bring the level playing field for the small players. Before Qrmp also, a very similar scheme was available. Yeah. Similarly, GSTR 1 was allowed to be filed on a quarterly basis, whereas GSTR 3B was asked to be filed on a monthly basis. In that process, what happens now? If at all I am a registered businessman purchasing from another businessman, that businessman has opted for this quarterly option, I have to wait for my ITC for how many months? 3 months. And tell me, in this business world, in this cash crunch corona period, will any businessman be happy to wait for 3 months to take his genuine credit?
No, sir.
Absolutely no, right? So what they started doing now, they started ignoring quarterly complying persons. This has started hurting the small businesses which has opted for quarterly return filing, quarterly GSTR 1 option. So they made the representation to the government. Sir, registered businessman, B2B players are ignoring us. Therefore, this scheme cannot be, working. So please help us to overcome this. That is when Qrmp came. So basically, government gets the revenue every month. GSTR 3B was filed every month. So government gets the revenue. Ana, supplier is also collecting the money, but recipient was not allowed to take the credit immediately. This was the problem in the old system. In the GST regime, when the quarterly returns were announced, that was a neck locker. to overcome that, they have brought in this QRMP scheme, in which only change is what, sir? Name change, name change and procedural change, with real facility being IFF. Using IFF in a quarter, first 2 months, all B2B transaction up to 50 lakhs was able to be disclosed. Sir, here is also a small neck lock, sir. If you are making a transaction beyond 50 lakhs, sir, I am making a B2B supply of 70 lakhs. I have to choose among the 70 to disclose only 50. Balance 20 I cannot disclose in IFF. I have to furnish in quarterly. GSTR 1 only I have to submit. That is the one neck lock. But at least 50 lakhs they are facilitating. Then the probable question. Small businessman who is having the turnover up to 5 crore. Sir, 5 crore per annum. 5 crore per annum. That means average. On an average per month their turnover should be how much? On an average their monthly turnover should be how much?
60 lakhs.
Arey Baba. 5 crores, 12 months, how much on an average? Roughly around
41 lakhs.
Roughly around 40 lakhs. Look at this. Look at this. IFF facility allows up to 50 lakhs. IFF facility allows up to 50 lakhs. So they make sense when they are fixing the limit. Sir, seasonal transactions are 1 month exceeded, sir. Then you have to choose to whom you should pass on immediately, to whom you should later on pass on. You should choose. Right, my dear? So next, monthly payment. Government is getting the monthly share. Government is not simply sitting. It is getting its monthly share. So here recipient is getting up to 50 lakhs monthly credit. Supplier is collecting the money and supplier is paying the money on monthly basis to the government. And consolidated GSTR 1 for the quarter is furnished on a quarterly basis. GSTR 3B is also furnished on a quarterly basis. Sir, this GSTR 1 will consist of what, sir? It will consist of outward supply not reported in IFF. Sir, up to 50 lakhs I reported. No. Beyond 50 lakhs, if B2B was there, that will be reported here. All the B2C transactions will be reported only in GSTR 1. So that extra reporting will come. And finally, quarterly GSTR 3B will also be filed. Differential payment. This monthly payment, there are two schemes. Okay. Monthly payment, there are two schemes. Actual payment, actual output tax liability minus input tax credit, net cash payment. Actual calculation we can do. If not, there is something called standard payment method. We can also go with the standard payment method. We will be discussing all those things in the subsequent. But this is what the compliance procedure. So first, if I want, again, IFF is also optional. If I want, I can go for IFF and I have to pay the monthly payment. Then I have to file the quarterly return and quarterly outward supply statement and quarterly return. All I have to submit on this particular equation. Whereas if I go for monthly compliance, how it works, look at this. Monthly compliance, when I take, if you are going for a monthly compliance, sir, I am a monthly compliance, I am a normal supplier, I didn't opt for composition scheme, I didn't opt for composition scheme. If you say so, my dear, look at this. You have to file the GSTR 1 on or before 11th of the next month. That is to say, sir, March month, on or before 11th of
April.
11th of April. Sir, previously it was 10th. Now it has been amended. I have given the notification reference also. 11th of April, I have to file my outward supply. That detail will flow to my recipient. That whatever, see, double entry system of mechanism, my dear. When someone says I have sold, only then someone else could have purchased. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Brothers, please think, my dear brothers and sisters. If I sell only, you can purchase. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, yeah.
Yes,
Appo,
sir.
let us understand, Seetharaman is making a sale to Mahendran. Seetharaman is making a sale to Mahendran. I sold 10,000 units. Now Mahendran would have purchased 10,000
Yes,
units. It both have to match or not?
Yes.
This is what will happen. Seetharaman in GSTR 1 will say, on or before 11th of April, I have sold goods to Mahendran, Pooja, Vijayaraghavan, all this Venu, all the people I have sold. I will give the list. Right, my dear? And from that list, because that list, all these people are registered business people. So using their GSTIN, information will be communicated to their portal in GSTR 2A. So inward supply will get freezed. Inward supply will get freezed. And while freezing the inward supply, two important things will happen. First, 2A will get updated, and then which is a dynamic one. GSTR 2A is a dynamic statement. It will keep updating itself every now and then. And from 2A, information will flow to GSTR 2B, which is an artificial intelligence tool developed by the department
GS.
to analyze the inward supply based on your business HSNs, and based on the purchase HSNs. It will split what is eligible, what is not eligible, and it will also split on the basis of a place of supply and blocked credit. All those things it will analyze and it will block. And if you have claimed anything over and above that, then it will automatically show the red alert. So your ITC will technically get freezed on 14th night. Probably I would say 15th it gets freezed. Okay, sir. What if Seetharaman has erroneously disclosed only 10,000, and whereas Mahendran has purchased 1,000? Mahendran has purchased 10,000. Seetharaman erroneously reported as sales only 1,000. Now tell me, Mahendran will be happier now? Because for him in GSTR 2A only how many quantities will come? 1,000 quantities.
10,000.
Correct? Whereas originally what he purchased? 10,000 quantities. Correct?
Yes, sir.
This Mahendran will report. Now, my dear, whatever I am saying, this is there in the design. It is still to happen. This is not yet happened. So, Mahendran, while accepting the GSTR 2A, he will amend it. 2A will be corrected to say it is not 1,000 units, it is 10,000 units. So Mahendran will get the credit for 10,000 units, and that communication of 10,000 units, 9,000 units added will come to supplier Seetharaman in GSTR 1A. And Seetharaman have to accept, reject or modify within 18th. If I don't do anything on 18th, my GSTR 1 will auto update by 9,000 units, and it will say that my liability towards Mahendran is 10,000 units. And I am liable to pay on outward supply of 10,000 units. It will auto migrate and it will say this communication to me. Guys, are you comfortable? And
Sir.
after 18th, there will be 2 days available for me, 19th and 20th. For what, sir? To file my GSTR 3B. My dear, there are change in deviation. Now we are talking about the compliance phases for a normal supplier. And for a normal supplier, it is 11th and 20th of the subsequent month. For Qrmp person, we have not discussed the dates and all. We are going to discuss. For Qrmp person, 2 days relaxation is there. That means 11th will be 13th for them. 11th will be 13th for Qrmp person.
Sir,
You can
just
see
a clarity.
Yes.
Sir, you have updated the difference in GSTR 1 versus 2A. The recipient received a lesser quantity or difference amount.
Yeah.
He will update 2A.
Yeah.
So you mean to say currently the practice is 2A is getting updated?
See, please understand, you are preparing for the examination, right?
Right, sir.
And do you want to write about all the practical aspects and spoil your marks?
No, nothing, sir. I'm saying that 2A.
My dear, see, I'm telling you, if anybody is in the practice and anybody is doing articleship, please take your practical experience away and then sit in the class. Why I am telling you? I gave you the clear sense. This is the schema which government wanted, and this is in the evolution. I never said this is in practice. Practice-ல 2A ஒழுங்கா update ஆக மாட்டேங்குதுப்பா. அதுக்கப்புறம் 2B-ல வரும்போது still lot of problems are there. And practically there is no mechanism till today that recipient can increase the recipient can correct and increase the
GSTR 1.
This was practically not available today. Today only government was able. See, after 5 years, we are close to 5 years. GST got birth 4 years and 9 months before. Correct? 1st July 2017. We are in 2022. Today only department was raising the voice and saying, if the transaction is not reflecting in 2A and 2B, I will not give you credit. இப்பதான் வாயத்தன்னு சொல்றாங்க. After 4-5 years of revolution, struggle, evolution, they are now only saying that we are ready with 2A, but still they are not ready with the mechanism of 2A getting. See, where is the concept of me accepting the 2A today practically? If anyone doing the articleship, please tell me. We are allowed to download 2A, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
are allowed to download 2B. Where is the concept of we going and accepting 2A and rejecting 2A, modifying 2A? Practically, that is not there. But what is given in the books only I can teach you. Yeah, what is there in the syllabus only, what is there in the section only I can teach you. And my dear brothers and sisters, when I am teaching you this, please don't lose your sleep and concentration by updating yourself. Section 38 has not yet got the assent of the president, and all the changes, if you have listened to GSTR 2A, 2B concepts, please don't spoil your examination by listening it. As on day, president has not given the assent. Might be when you and me speak, 26th March only, Lok Sabha passed the Finance Act 2022. We are not sure. Lok Sabha has to passed. Rajya Sabha have to pass, they are yet to do. No communication whether Rajya Sabha has accepted this or not. Then will have to go to the president and it has to get the assent. And after that, department has to notify it. Effective data they have to notify it. So it is a lengthy process. So my dear brothers and sisters, don't heed to the current affairs and lose the mark. And whoever has asked, if you have practical exposure, you will validate with me, my dear. Practically none of the schema will be there. Only 50% of the schema is there. The GSTR 1A going back as GSTR 2A going back as GSTR 1A is not yet happened. That's a dream of government. But that is what Act contemplates. Draft law from 2016 contemplates the same. Mechanism is not yet developed. This is why courts were having contradictory view and we are fighting for it. Don't mix practice and don't bring it to examination purpose. My dear, please, I am telling you, examination is with the object of you scoring marks. Practice is with the objective of serving the clients. Don't mix this two and get it confused. Sir, is that practice and the theory is very, very different, sir? No, except for this return filing chapters. Balance all chapter, it will match hand in hand. But not in this chapter. This is evolving area. Whoever has asked this question, you will see the schema what I am teaching you today, it will happen in another 3 to 5 years. But left with no choice. In the examination, if this question comes, can you write your practical exposure, my dear?
No, sir.
Marks are important. Everybody, I appreciate you have practice. I appreciate you know practicality. But please, my dear, I am telling you, don't bring in that. Every preparation when you start, remember to start it from basis of zero-based budgeting. See, this is how I sit in every session. I sit in a session. Even if you are going to take GSTR 3B, I will come and sit in the session. I will tell myself in my mind, I don't know GSTR 3B. I am going to learn from this colleague. I will be an active listener. I'll be writing notes. I'll be taking notes, and I will be learning whatever you're teaching. Even if you're going away from the practicality, I will not contradict that, because I have no objective to prove you wrong. I have the objective to learn and take anything new from you. This is what the mindset with which I go and sit in the CP. And when I take the classes for the members and for the departmental officers, my objective is to what value addition I can do it to their knowledge. So my dear brothers and sisters, the objective of every session is different. The objective of today's session is how to make you score full marks in returns chapter, how to make you score full marks in payment chapter, how to make you score full marks in valuation chapter. If we restrict to that scope, that will be great. Please don't deviate with practicalities. That is not going to help us, and time will also be consumed. See, now itself for the past 4 minutes I am talking about practicality which is not there for the exam. I request you to throw all your practical aspects from the mind to outside. That is not required when you prepare for the exam. Only with this chapter. Am I loud and clear? Everybody.
Yes, sir.
Please, my dear, please adhere to the request. Please adhere to the request. Okay. Now let's proceed, my dear. Now let's proceed. This is the schema. This is the schema of normal compliance and Qrmp compliance. Now let's quickly get into Qrmp compliance and check how it works. Here we go. Qrmp. Sir, first and foremost thing, what is the eligibility criteria for Qrmp? My dear brothers and sisters, two conditions. Eligibility criteria has been set two things, my dear. First eligibility is your aggregate turnover up to 5 crores. And aggregate turnover 2 clause 6, I'm sure you all would have done. Taxable supply, exempt supply, everything put together, not including the taxes, not including purchases on which RCM tax was paid. You have to ignore them all to arrive at something called aggregate turnover. Such aggregate turnover on all India basis, all GSTINs having the common PAN should not exceed 5 crores. Absolutely fine. Second condition is, if you want to opt for, please appreciate, you must have furnished the last return. You must have furnished the last return for which the due date is completed on the date of exercising such options. Meaning thereby, let me explain you here with day 2 Qrmp. So let's start Qrmp. And my dear, look at this. First, we are talking about eligibility. What does they say? First criteria is preceding financial year aggregate turnover. Preceding financial year aggregate turnover does not exceed rupees 5 crore. So that means up to 5 crores. That is 5 crores or less than 5 crores. And second condition, you should have filed the return for which due date was over, for which due date is completed. This is how you have to understand. On what day, sir? As on the date of opting for Qrmp. Let me explain you. Okay, for this you should know the due date for opting also. We will explain you on the due date of opting as well, right? So first let's appreciate what is that they mention, for which now I have to teach you due date for opting, and that is when it came. Now let's take today, 30th March 2022. 30th March 2022, Pooja sister wants to opt for Qrmp. Right, my dear? And with respect to what quarter, sir? We have to discuss that. Let's go ahead and first understand that. Look at that. You can opt from the first day of the second quarter. You can opt from the first day of the second month of the preceding quarter. My dear, they say you can. See, she can't. What is the time limits? We'll discuss this time limit. First day of the second month of the preceding quarter. Sister wants to opt for which quarter? April to June quarter. Sister wants to opt. April to June 2022. Sister wants to opt for this quarter. Everybody, my dear. Now let's appreciate. First day of the second quarter. What is the preceding quarter? Current quarter is April to June. What is the preceding? Quarter? First analyze this and make a note of preceding quarter. Preceding quarter is January to March 22. And in this, ask the next question. What is the second month? What is the second month of the preceding quarter? What is the second month of the preceding quarter? So it is second month of the preceding quarter is February. And first day, that means the first day of the preceding quarter, as said here, will be 1st of February 2022. My dear Pooja sister can give an intimation, point number A, from this day. So from this day she can give an intimation. Everybody, so till what day she can give intimation, sir? Till what day she can give an intimation? The last day of the first month of the quarter. The last day of the first month of the quarter. Oh, current quarter they are talking about. So tell me, my dear, the current quarter, April to June is the current quarter. We understand current quarter is this way. What is the first month of the current quarter?
April.
First month. See, why I am giving you step by step, I am telling you. These calculations are very simple. But through careless mistake is possible. Careless mistake is possible because I'm correcting the papers. I'm telling you, overconfidence la, lack of concentration la, we are doing mistakes. So do step by step. So write the provision and analyze in this manner and get to have the dates. And get to have the dates. That will be easy analysis for you. So first month of the current quarter. When you do step by step, you will not do a mistake at all. So first month of the current quarter is April 2022. Everybody, am I right? So for last
Yes, sir.
day of the first month, meaning thereby, what is the last day of the first month? So
30th
Pooja sister can opt for between these dates. Now let us analyze. In our example, she opted on what day? Pooja sister wanted to opt on what day? 30th of March 2022. Can she opt for that? Her preceding financial year aggregate turnover is up to 5 crores. And she wants to opt from April to June. And she wants to give the declaration on 30th of March 2022. Can she do so?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. She can do so from 1st of February. She can do so from the 1st of February 2022 to what day? To 30th of April 2022 she can do. Are you all with me, my dear? This is a timeline for Pooja sister. Correct? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
And she is
Yes,
doing
sir.
only in between the time limit. That means she is eligible to opt for Qrmp. Now, eligibility scheme. See, time limit is within the limit, but eligibility when it comes in, we have to check. See, 30th, she is opting on. So, the date of opting is what day? Date of option exercise. Date of option exercised is 30th March 2022. Now, tell me, due date. Which due date? Which due date for filing return expired as on 30th of March 2022? Check. Which tax periods, I should ask, which tax periods due date? Which tax periods due date for filing the return has completed as on 30th of March?
February.
My dear brothers and sisters, please understand. First check we should ask is check whether Pooja sister has filed Feb 22 return. Sir, there are two answers, sir. What is the answer, sir? Yes, she has filed. Yes, filed. My dear, yes, filed means look at the conditions. Look at all the conditions. First, turnover criteria. That is preceding financial year, aggregate preceding financial year plus aggregate turnover is not exceeding 5 crores. First criteria satisfied. Second criteria, time limit for opting. She is well within the time limit for opting. So second criteria is also satisfied. Third criteria, only when she has complied with the return filing obligation. Third criteria, return filing obligation is fulfilled. We have to check. My dear, only when all the three is yes, she can opt for. Pooja sister can opt for. Can opt for.
Qrmp scheme.
Qrmp scheme. My dear brothers and sisters, please understand, only when you read these 3 points together, when to opt, only when you read when to opt, point number 2, time limit for opting, and point number 3, conditions for opting, eligibility for opting together, you can come to this conclusion. Simply by reading the eligibility alone, you cannot come. Look at this, I am clubbing everything. Eligibility they have said up to 5 crores. And then these points are given. These points are given in when to excise. Only when I club these points, I get to know there are conditions attached. My dear brothers and sisters, are you comfortable? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I am thanking again to CBIC for this table. My dear, again courtesy CBIC. I have borrowed this table from CBIC. If at all Pooja sister wants to opt for second quarter, what is the time limit within which she has to opt? 1st May to 31st July. Sir, how did you arrive, sir? Applying the same proposition, yeah. You please work out yourself. First day of the second month of the preceding quarter. Let us understand July to September. What is the July to September is the current quarter. And what is the preceding quarter? That means April to June. Correct? Preceding quarter, what is the first day of the second month? Preceding quarter is April, May, June. That means second month is May. That means she can opt from 1st of May. And she can opt to current quarter first month last date. July to September. July to September, the first month is July. So last day of the current quarter. Last day of the first month of the current quarter, which is 31st July. So the option, if Pooja sister wants to opt for July to September, she can express this from the 1st of May to 31st of July. Guys, simple thing. You please write this and follow the step-by-step approach what I gave you. And apply yourself here. You will identify everything will be there. And my dear, Qrmp is only option. So, sir, this month I opted for Qrmp. Next quarter, can I come out of Qrmp? Yeah, you can come out. What is the time limit to express my intention to come out of Qrmp? Same time limit. Look at this. Same time limit. Look at this. Look at this. Validity of the Qrmp scheme. My dear brothers and sisters, look at this. Facility for opting out of the scheme is also provided. Facility for opting out of the scheme is also provided. So if you want, you can go in, and if you don't want, you can come out. My dear brothers and sisters, this is not the Abhimanyu's Padma Vyuga. Understand? Where there is only one entry point and there is no exit point. Here entry point is also there, exit point is also there. What law says, sir? Sir, you are opting with your own intention. Sorry, you are opting for your own intention. That means you please come out of your own intention as well. Absolutely fine. Right, my dear? And look at the time for which I can opt out. Look at the time for which I can opt out here. Look at the time of opting out. Beautifully that has been set. Beautifully that has been set for me. Guys, are you with me? It's the same time limit for opting in. Within the same period, I have to express and come out. So if I opt out from the next quarter onwards, I can be out. Or if I violate any condition, I can out. So voluntarily also I can opt out. And if my turnover exceeds also, I can come out. Guys, are you all comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So point number 1, Qrmp is not a compulsion. It is only option. Sir, how to opt in, sir? Opt in, you have to comply with 3 important conditions, not even 2. For that you have to read eligibility and availment option together. Only then you will get to understand what are the 3 conditions. First condition, my preceding financial year aggregate turnover. Preceding financial year aggregate turnover should not exceed 5 crores. Second condition, I should have expressed my intention to opt within the said time limit. Hey, my dear brothers and sisters, answer my question. Can Pooja sister express her intention to opt for Qrmp for the quarter April to May on 15th of May?
No, sir.
Why? See, this can be a practical question. You will be getting the question of only this sort. Are you with me, my dear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Or there
Yes,
will be a question. Of this way. Pooja sister wants to opt for Qrmp for April to June quarter.
June.
As on 30th March, her February month return and January return was pending, outstanding, not filed. Can she opt for Qrmp?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Are you getting a point, my dear? And to confuse you, will your answer be different if she filed the belated return? She has not filed it on due date, but she has filed it on 25th. She has filed it on 25th of March by paying late fee and interest. Can she opt for QRMP now on 30th of
Yes.
March?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent, Sundaresh, you're spot on. My dear brothers and sisters, look at the condition and then, decide upon. Look at the condition and then decide upon. What is the condition set? What is the condition set? In order to exercise this option, registered person must have furnished the last return as on due date of exercising such option, not due date of furnishing such return. As on the due date of exercising the option of QRMP, you should have filed. Whether you have filed it belatedly, whether you have filed within the due date or you filed beforehand, we are not required. Filed or not is the only question. Guys, are you with me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
My dear brothers and sisters, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So, very, very, very important question. I anticipate a interlinking. Interlinking question on all these provisions. Guys, by the way, we have covered eligibility, we have covered time limit for opting in, we have covered also the validity of the scheme. Guys, are you all comfortable? So, validity of the scheme, sir, how long I can be in QRMP? See, once you opted, until you violate the condition or until you opt out, you can be in QRMP. And sir, next question. Sir, I am having 4 GSTINs. If one GSTIN is opting for QRMP, whether all the other 3 GSTINs have to compulsorily opt for QRMP, because another person who is enjoying the quarterly option is composition scheme. Correct? Section 10. That is why opening itself I told you. Section 10 and 9 all parallel levies. It will not go hand in hand. Both are mutually exclusive. My dear, composition scheme and QRMP is squarely different in this category. Sir, composition scheme, one person is opting for, one GSTIN is opting for composition scheme. All other 3 GSTINs having the same PAN will automatically go under
Composition scheme.
Compulsory. Sir, one person came out of composition scheme, sir. All the 3 also came out of a composition scheme. This is composition scheme for you. Whereas QRMP, sir, 4 GSTINs with the same PAN. 4 GSTINs with the same PAN was there. Only one can opt for QRMP. Balance 3 can file a normal compliance. There is no compulsion. So QRMP, there can be an MCQ. QRMP is PAN wise or QRMP is GSTIN wise? QRMP option is GSTIN wise. Please note down. QRMP option is GSTIN wise. Everybody, my dear, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Right. Sir, now after understanding this, it is time for us to straight away get into compliance and learn the compliance concept. We will go into the compliance area straight away. Let's have a look at the compliance, my dear. 3 stages I am splitting the compliance. First stage is declaring the outward supply. Second stage is monthly payment. Third stage is after adjusting the ITC, straight away GSTR 3B filing. Let's go ahead and straight away understand stage 1, returns. Let's go ahead and understand, my dear. As I told you, detail stage 1 is furnishing the outward supply detail. And my dear, I can do it. I have an option. I can furnish first 2 months only. First 2 months I can furnish using IFF, and third month I can file the GSTR1, or instead for all the 3 months of the quarter, I can straight away furnish GSTR1 also. This is also option given under the law. And what is beneficial to the QRMP person? What is beneficial to the QRMP person? It is beneficial only if they opt for IFF facility. So what is IFF facility, my dear? Registered person for all the taxable outward supply made to a B2B person, they can furnish the information in IFF up to the value not exceeding 50 lakhs every month. For example, Pooja sister opting for April, May, June quarter. April month and May month. For April month and May month alone, sister can declare the details of outward supply B2B up to 50 lakhs in IFF. Sir, third month she is making taxable supply. Adukku she will file the GSTR 1 itself. Everybody, sir, April and May, sister has made 60 lakhs and 60 lakhs, sir. That means only 50 lakhs and 50 lakhs she will give in IFF. Balance 10 lakh, 10 lakhs she will report only in third month, quarter, GSTR 1. Guys, are you all with me? Is it clear?
Sir.
And please understand the time limit for issuing the IFF information and also the GSTR1 for the quarter ending is 13th of the month following that month. For example, sir, for April, Pooja sister want to furnish IFF on or before 13th of the next month. 13th month of the IFF for the previous month would be made available. So my dear, you have to be very clear. So I can upload IFF facility only up to 13th. Sir, what will happen if Pooja sister updates on 14th? It will be 14th to next month 13th. It will be considered for the next month. Continuously you can upload also. Facility was made available. But after 13, whatever you disclose, it will not be considered as for the previous tax period. It will be considered only for the next tax period. Sir, what if Pooja sister erroneously missed? Recipient of Pooja sister also missed the credit. This will in turn put pressure on whom? Will the recipient be happy?
No,
Will the
No, sir.
recipient be happy? No. So recipient will come and ask 1 month interest from whom? Pooja sister only. That means sister for non-compliance will pay the penalty either to the recipient or to the government. Guys, that is invoice furnishing facility for you. That is invoice furnishing facility for you. So quickly summarizing the IFF facility. This is an option for the only first 2 months. Understand that. It is not for all the 3 months of the quarter. First 2 months of the quarter, you can issue IFF only B2B, that too up to 50 lakhs on or before 13th of the next month. These are the key points you have to remember for IFF. What are all those? First 2 months, only B2B reporting up to 50 lakhs on or before 13th of the subsequent month. Guys, are you comfortable with the 4 key points?
Yes, sir.
Everybody, shall I repeat?
Yes, sir.
First one, what? Four key points. First one. First 2 months of the quarter, applicable for the first 2 months of the quarter. Second point, report only
B2B.
B2B. Third point, report only value up to
50 lakhs.
50 lakhs. Point number 4, it has to be reported on or before
13th.
13th of the next month. Guys, is it clear? Key points. Shall we proceed? Stage 2. Stage 2 now, monthly payment have to be done. What is monthly payment, sir? Monthly payments on or before 25th of the next month, you are expected to deposit the said amount, not tax. Look at the word, said amount you have to deposit in PMT 06. So payment, what is the key, sir? Next month on or before 25th in PMT 06 amount to be paid. So PMT 06, I have to very clearly opt for PMT 06 and I have to pay an amount, meaning thereby you are only depositing the cash in your electronic cash ledger. You are not setting off the tax liability. You are only depositing the money. You are only depositing the money through a separate challan form, which is PMT 06. And that I have to do on or before what day, sir? 25th of the succeeding month. That means let's assume Pooja sister who opted for QRMP from April to June. April month when she has to make the payment. April month when she has to make the payment. On or before 25th of
May.
on or
May
before
month.
25th of May. In what form? In which challan? PMT 06. PMT GST PMT 06 she has to make. How much is the money, sir? What is the said amount, sir? For that they are giving us 2 options. Yeah, first option is self-assessment method, which is the regular one. Output tax liability minus input tax credit based on GSTR 2B only. Balance payable in cash in PMT 06. This is a regular pattern. This we do like normal. Whenever we want to do, we will do it, right? Second one is interesting, yeah, which is fixed sum method. They say if you want to pay fixed sum, you can do. What is the fixed sum method, sir? Fixed sum method says, previously if you are following quarterly filing pattern, 35% of the last quarter's payment you have to pay. Now let us go. Only when I give you example, you can appreciate this. Now, my dear, we are come to the compliance la payment. QRMP la payment. I am giving you this example. Now listen, my dear. First question is previous compliance mode. Previous compliance. Previous compliance. Quarterly or monthly? Case 1. Previous compliance is quarterly payment. Sir, previously I have followed the quarterly compliance method. What is a case 2? Case 2 will be previous compliance will be monthly one. So case 2 is monthly compliance. There are two probabilities. My dear, of which first probability? Look at this. Quarterly. First, as previous quarter, how much is the tax you paid in cash? So previous quarter output tax liability is there, sir. Less input tax credit was there, sir. And difference, if any, balancing figure, difference, if any, I will be paying in cash. So let's understand. Previous quarter, what I have done, sir. 1.5 lakhs was the liability, sir, and 1 lakh was ITC, sir. 50,000 is I paid in. Sorry, 50,000 I paid in cash. Let's assume for simplicity, 50,000 I paid in cash. Or let's say for simplicity 0.5 and 1 lakh I paid in cash. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, appreciate what the law says. Fixed sum method. Previously, Pooja sister was paying a quarterly payment. Therefore, law says PMT 06. And PMT 06 is also like IFF. It is applicable only for the first. It is applicable only for the first 2 months of the quarter. So for April month and for May month, only for 2 months PMT 06 has to be done. And what is the amount of PMT 06, sir? Sir, this is a total output tax liability, but I want to take only amount paid in cash. In this amount, 35% give it to us because it is a quarterly payment. So my dear brothers and sisters, 1 lakh is the amount paid in cash. Remember, amount paid in cash, adla 35% I have to pay, irrespective of my actual liability and actual ITC. 2 months if I pay 35, absolutely fine. Suppose, sir, no sir, it is a monthly allocation, sir. It is monthly allocation, sir. It is a monthly allocation, sir. What happened is last month before this, they have paid this much, sir. Abdiya, very good. What the law says here? Law says here, for the month of April, you again pay 1 lakh. For the month of April, again pay 1 lakh. And for the month of May, again pay 1 lakh. 100%. Now please look at the provision. Previous quarter where return was furnished on quarterly basis, then you have to go for 35% of tax paid in such quarterly return. And my dear brothers and sisters, if in the preceding quarter where the returns are furnished on monthly basis, 100% of tax paid in cash. See, this is the key word you have to pick. Tax paid in cash, tax paid in cash, tax paid in cash, tax paid in cash. 100% of the tax paid in cash you are expected to pay in PMT 06. My dear, there are some restrictions for PMT 06. What is that, sir? While going for PMT 06, you should clearly opt. It is for monthly return and quarterly taxpayer. You have to opt this. When you go for the portal challan itself, this will automatically come. You can opt. My dear, amount deposited using PMT 06 is earmarked. It is like sinking fund depreciation reserve. Sir, can I use sinking fund depreciation reserve for any other purpose? Can I use dividend distribution reserve for any other purpose? No, right? These are earmarked reserves, right? I can't use it for any other purpose, right? Same way, PMT 06, monthly payment for quarterly return. Monthly payment for quarterly return is a earmarked payment. PMT 06 is a earmarked payment. Only after filing, only after making GSTR 3B adjustment, excess if any, I can apply for the refund. Till filing the GSTR 3B, you cannot touch this PMT 06 payment for any other purpose. Sir, I paid extra. Can I transfer it to someone else? Can I file PMT 09 payment chapter? Sir, can I do the transfer from excess fund? No, you can't do. Normal challan I have paid, you can transfer. PMT 06 I have paid, you can't transfer. Minimum lock-in period is that GSTR 3B. Guys, am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir, appo monthly payment and monthly payment for quarterly return stage 2, is it compulsory? No, my dear, it has got 2 exception. You need not do this. You need not do this. What is that, sir? Why, sir? My dear, when you have no output tax liability for that period, will you pay this? Your output
No.
tax liability is 0. Your output tax liability is 0. Whether I have to make any payment?
No, sir.
Logically, no, right? Logically, no. Similarly, sir, I already have cash balance with me. I already have the credit credit of such ITC and cash balance put together is more than my monthly liability. Will you again pay?
No, sir.
No, sir.
In these are the 2 exceptional situations. My dear, expect a question. Making a monthly payment for quarterly taxpayer Qrmp payment made in PMT 06 is compulsory irrespective of your turnover. Comment. Answer is no. And making the payment is compulsory. Comment. Answer is no, it is not compulsory, because if I have nil tax liability, I will not make a payment. And if I already have more assets, then also I will not make a payment. Guys, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
And finally, return filing obligation. My dear brothers and sisters, for this purpose, you have to split the India into half. Yeah, lower half 22nd was the due date. Upper half they are giving 24th is the due date. I am not sure what is the logic behind this, but that is how it is worked out. Okay. 3B, this QRMP people, they can file. This QRMP people, they have to file this return on or before 22nd 24. My dear brothers and sisters, kindly pardon me, background la my kid was crying. You will be overhearing that noise. I have tried to raise my voice, but still please manage. Don't get deviated with the noise. Okay, now coming back to the mainstream. Guys, are you comfortable? So I'll have to file IFF, and after that I have to file the GSTR1 on a quarterly basis. Sir, GSTR1 you didn't tell. Only you have discussed about, GSTR, IFF only you have discussed. GSTR1 you have not discussed. My dear, I told you very clearly. GSTR1, if at all you opt for IFF, GSTR1 will consist of what? I have already told you. If you are opting for IFF, GSTR1 will consist of all the supplies made during the last month of the quarter and first 2 months. The B2C transaction plus transaction in excess of 50 lakhs will come there. Sir, I am not opting for IFF, sir. That means all the details of outward supply will come in GSTR1, and the due date for GSTR1 is 13th of the month following the quarter. Guys, are you all comfortable? So that is declaration of liability. Then we saw the payment, and then adjusting with the input tax credit. Final is payment of GSTR 3B. This is the compliance. My dear, I am expecting a question. On payment eligibility. These 2 things are number driven. So I am expecting a question on payment. Okay, whether it is correctly done, or I am expecting the question on opting for QRMP. Either of this can be tested. And sir, what if I have not done within the time limit? Oh, if you have not paid the tax within the time limit, then you will be attracting interest and late fee as anybody do. The most interesting is fixed sum method. See, in the proportion law says, if you are opting for fixed sum, and say I will go for this example and I will tell you, if you are opting for fixed sum, sir, my actual liability for the month is 1 lakh, sir, but I paid only 35,000 as PMT 06. No problem. Sir, I am short paying my liability, sir. Whether I have to pay interest? No. Wait. What is the third month of this quarter? Third month of this quarter is June. Correct, my dear? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Third month of the quarter is June. Correct or not? In June quarter, whether I am supposed to file PMT 06? No.
No,
I am
sir.
supposed to pay my tax using GSTR 3B. Is it not? I am supposed to pay my taxes using GSTR 3B. I have to create a challan and I have to disburse. Sir, do I have to file IFF? No. For this entire quarter, for the full quarter, you please tell me what is your output tax liability. And for the full quarter, you please tell what is your What is your input tax credit? And difference. For example, sir, for this full quarter, my liability worked around to say 7.5 lakhs. And I had the ITC of I had ITC of 4.5 lakhs. That means the difference is 3 lakhs.
3 lakhs.
Everybody, and sir, I have to immediately pay this 3 lakhs. Huh? No, less PMT 06 payments. How much I paid using PMT 06? I paid 70,000. So I paid already 70,000. How did I pay 70,000? Sir, previously, if you check, here 35,000 PMT 06 in April, here another 35,000 in PMT 06 May. I paid 70,000. Okay. Net payable. This net payable, they are asking how much is the net payable? 2.3 lakhs. The question is, have you paid within this due date? Answers can be two answers. Yes, I have paid. If you answer, if you filed the return, sir, why have you paid within due date in கேக்குறீங்க, and then have you filed the return கேக்குறீங்க? My dear, please understand, GSTR 3B can be filed only when all the taxes are paid in full. I cannot have a payable return. Are you with me, my dear? Are you able to understand this logic?
Yes, sir.
You can file a valid return only when you make full payment. That means you have to file the GSTR 3B within the time. Sir, is it paid within the time? You can ask this question, or you can ask whether GSTR 3B has been filed within the yes. Let's understand. I am a supplier from Tamilnadu. What is the due date for Tamilnadu person? Let's understand. Pooja sister is also from Tamilnadu. What is the due date for Tamilnadu? 22nd following the quarter. So 22nd of July. Answer. Now I have to check for the answer. Yes, Pooja's sister has filed the return on or before 22nd of July. That means, my dear, no interest is payable. No interest is payable. The way answer is no, then interest is payable. Interest is payable. From what day to what day, sir? From 23rd July 2022, from 23rd July 2022 till actual date of payment. Guys, are you all comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Right. Sir, suppose this is the fixed sum I am obligated to pay. This is the fixed sum I am obligated to pay. Sir, this fixed sum itself I am not paying, or I am paying less than what is specified there. Then I am obligated to pay the interest for that period. Let me explain you for the month of April. Now, what is the month of April amount? If PMT 06 is short paid or not paid. See, my dear, in this case also, first case also, you short paid. See, when I say short paid, you have to understand what is short paid means. Short paid means less than what portal says. For example, in our example, what is the portal said? What is the portal said? Portal said 35,000. Correct, my dear?
Yes, sir.
Case 1. You paid 35,000. That means what? No short payment. No short payment. No short payments mean no interest liability. Everybody, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Case 2. Case 2, my dear. Case 2, you have done what? Case 2, you have done 25,000 only you have done. Sir, you have done what day, sir? I have done it on due date, sir. That is to say 25th of May 2022 I have done it. Oh, very good. Balance 10,000, when did you pay? Sir, I did not pay. I did the payment only with the GSTR 3B. Oh, when did you file the GSTR 3B? I filed it on due date, sir. 22nd of July 2022. Pooja sister filed it. Yeah, very good. Pooja sister, while filing this, she is liable to pay interest. She is liable to pay interest from what day? From 26th May 2022 to 22nd July 2022. For how much, sir? 10,000 rupees she will be paying the interest at 18%. Guys, are you all comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And if it is not paid, what will happen? Very simple. She will be paying for the entire 35,000 interest at that time. Guys, are you all comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Right. This is how interest and penalty works. But my dear, let me very clearly say, get to know, but I am not anticipating interest. I am not anticipating interest at the highest level for you guys, because it is practically a deeper dive. Since it is a newborn baby, I can't expect a newborn kid to swim at, or run at Hussein Bolt's pace. You have to first scroll, so Qrmp is in the scrolling state. So I expect the question of first proposition, what I said, eligibility plus option schemes, the three condition. You remember, my dear? Hello.
Yes,
What
sir.
are the three conditions if you want to opt for Qrmp? Point number 1, preceding financial year aggregate
Turnover is
turnover
less
should
than
not exceed 5 crores.
5 crores.
And point number 2, time limit for, you should have opted within the time limit. Point number 3, you should have filed the returns, previous month return for which the due date is over, you should have filed that return. I am expecting a question on only this line, so concentrate there, and that's Qrmp for you. So that's the first agenda is over. So first agenda itself took some time, no problem. In that process also we covered GSTR 1 and 3B discussion. So I'm going straight away for final return. There is a beautiful discussion called final return. Guys, GSTR 1 and 3B discussion formats are available. You can go through. Whatever we discuss, it's the same content. GSTR 1 la, interestingly, there can be one discussion based on formatted. Remember, if my memory holds good, which can be reported where correct reporting where 2021 la, 2021 la, there is an RTP question, mark it very important. There is a probability it may be tested for you. What is that, sir? See, format of 1 second, yeah, content of GSTR 1 la, you might be getting a question. Yeah, focus here for a second. Let me quickly take you through this. Please appreciate table 4, table 5, table 6, table 7, table 8. How invoice detail has to be disclosed can be a question. Table 4, table 5, table 6 will be invoice wise detail. Table 4, table 5, table 6 will be invoice wise detail. It will be invoice wise detail. Whereas table 6 and table 7 and table 8 will be consolidated detail. My dear, you may be tested based on this, or there can be an MCQ based on this. Mark this 5 table very, very important. Am I loud and clear? Am I loud and clear to everybody? Mark this 5 table content important. You might be tested with a question how to report this, whether it is a correct reporting. Mr. X or Pooja sister or Sri Ramulu makes a 0 rated supply, or he exports and he wants to know in which table it has to be given, or he wants to know whether it is invoice wise detail or all the export put together consolidated detail can be given. There can be a question. Guys, look out for this area. Right? I'm going for the next one, which is a high area now. GSTR 2A, I've already told you guys, it is a reflection of purchases where it will come. Typically speaking, contents of GSTR 2A might be another interesting area. There are 4 parts. Part A will carry the informations. Part A will carry the informations for you. Yeah. Part A will carry the informations of all inward supplies and changes made thereto. Part B will capture the information of input service distribution, ISD credit you are receiving from your ISD parent company. And part C Part C will be the TDS and TCS credits, and part 4 will be import or deemed import from SEZ units. These informations will be captured, and these informations will be further iterated in GSTR 2B. GSTR 2B will filter on the basis of eligibility criteria, whether it is eligible or not eligible. It will split, and eligible information will be given in table 3 and ineligible will be given in table number 4. Based on GSTR 2B only, today you will have to take the credit. Based on GSTR 2B only, you have to take the credit. And also, please don't forget, just informations are in GSTR 2B. You cannot simply go ahead to claim the credit. Yeah, why, sir? Look at the caution given by the advisory note. They said even if GSTR 2B something is reflecting, taxpayer shall ensure before availing such credit that there is no double credits, and there is any credit is to be reversed, it has to be reversed, and reverse charge mechanism, you are supposed to take the credit only on payment basis. So in this, what is interesting for me is point number B. Credit shall be reversed whenever necessary. My dear, if 2B is applying an artificial intelligence, why does this point have to be there? They say credit is to be taken only as per 2B. Then why this responsibility shifted to the recipient? That means you have to understand 2B is not practically fully evolved. It is only an artificial intelligence. It's only a 99% guesswork. It cannot be certain. For example, okay, I am buying a 50 to 55 inches TV from my office. Seetharaman Associates, my office. From my office, I am buying a 55 inches TV. Chartered accountancy office kun TV kun what is the relationship? It will artificial intelligence will delay. But tell me, what if I have procured the TV for my office to conduct conferences or to take sessions, corporate training to my clients? What if I have taken to my office for corporate training to be provided for my clients? Tell me, used for business purpose only, right? I can take credit. I will still take credit. See, this is what contradictions we are up against practically, right? And sir, quick comparison, not from the examination perspective, from the theoretical perspective, might be a question. What is the difference between GSTR 2A and 3B? My dear, GSTR 2A is a dynamic nature. That means it will keep changing. Whereas GSTR 2B is a static. It is like a PDF. It will not change. Okay. And sir, basis of availing credit. GSTR 2A cannot be taken as a basis. GSTR 2B can be used as a basics for availing credit. Just now I told you. And sir, what information? When it will get updated, sir? GSTR 2A keeps updating. Every now and then it's updating. Whereas GSTR 2B gets updated and published only on 14th night. 14th or 14th night it will get updated. And last one, sir, whether GSTR 2A classifies eligible, ineligible? No, yeah. GSTR 2A captures all purchases from registered person, whereas GSTR 2B bifurcates such purchases reflected in 2A into eligible and ineligible. These are the difference between GSTR 2A and 2B. Guys, are you all comfortable? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
So that's the difference between GSTR 2A and 2B, my dear brothers and sisters. And with this, what I'm heading towards is final return straight away. Composition scheme supplier, PMT 08, they have to file CMP 08 on or before 18th of the subsequent month following the quarter. So nothing great there. I'm skipping that area. They have to file yearly, GSTR 4 and format of GSTR 4. It has also been given. And now few important informations which you have to focus on, returns chapter before I go to final return. What is that? The due date for payment of taxes, due date for furnishing the return. Filing the nil return is mandatory. Sir, even if I don't have any transaction, I'm supposed to file GSTR 1 nil return, GSTR 3B nil return. I have to do. Sir, nil return, how I can do, sir? Even with the SMS facility, you can do. Just OTP verification, you can do. Okay, sir, if I don't file my previous month return, can I file my current return? No. I told you there is no salvation in GST. Your karma will follow. Sir, I have not filed return for 3 months. First payment will be adjusted on with the third month, last month. What is the highest outstanding? It will be adjusted against it. And then only after adjusting all the previous liabilities only, we will come to current liability. And finally, sir, can I file a revised return under the GST law? No revision is permitted. Rectification is permitted. But rectification also has a time limit. You have to rectify your returns on or before the due date for filing the returns for the month of September, or actual date of filing returns for the month of annual return, whichever is earlier you have to file. That is to say, sir, for financial year ending 31st March 2022, I want to rectify a mistake. How shall I go ahead and rectify, sir? You have a time limit to do. Due date for furnishing the return for the month of September following the end of financial year. Sir, September following the end of financial year. It is September 2022. Due date for furnishing the September month return, which is 20th of October. So please rectify it on or before 20th of October, or actual date of filing annual return, whichever is earlier. Let us understand, Pooja's sister filed the annual return on 1st of July. That means she has to rectify all mistakes on or before 1st of July. Suppose let us understand she files a return by annual return by 1st of December. So 20th October or 1st of December, whichever is earlier. 20th October is earlier. Guys, are you with me? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, and we'll going straight away to the final returns. So the first return will be a greater period. That's fine. Annual returns is all amended. So I'm going for the final return. Sir, what is the final return, sir? My dear, please understand and look out very carefully. Normal taxable person or a casual taxable person, when their registration is cancelled, they are obligated to file the GSTR 10. So even a casual taxable person, when their registration is cancelled, they are obligated to file the GSTR 10. What is the due date, sir? Within 3 months from the date of cancellation or date of order of cancellation, whichever is later. This is very, very interesting. Whichever is later. Sir, I am making an application. Pooja's sister makes an application today. Okay. Saying, sir, please cancel my registration from 10th of April. Order of cancellation passed on 3rd of April. But effective date of cancellation is 10th of April. Whichever is later, yeah. 10th of April, from 10th of April within 3 months. From 10th of April within 3 months. That means you have to start calculating from. You have to start calculating from.
11th
Excellent,
of April.
sister. Very good. From 11th of April, within 3 months, you have to calculate, and within that time, you have to file the GSTR 10. Failing which, what will happen, sir? You will attract the late fee. My dear, late fee is amended. Mark late fee. Very, 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 very important. This exam, I am expecting a question on late fee. I am openly saying you. Mark it important. Why, sir? Look at this. Any registered person who fails to furnish detailed of outward supply, just GSTR 1, or inward supply, fails to acknowledge GSTR 2A, or fails to furnish a return under 39, which is GSTR 3B, or annual return. My dear, that means monthly compliance and annual return, which is final return. Final return. Just now we saw for GSTR 10, that final return, if you fail to furnish, for every day 100 rupee or maximum 5,000 rupees available. Sir, everybody is subjected only to this category of 100 rupees or 5,000, sir. No, pa, there are some changes. Look at this. This is where amendment comes. This is where important things will come. This is where I am expecting a question. What is the amendment, sir? This amendment is effective for your examination only. You are the first batch who are reading this. Look at this. All have come only in June 2021. That means you are the first batch writing this examination with this amendment. What is that, sir? Sir, I want to file. What is that return you have to file? Is it nil return or tax payability is there? No, sir. Nil return, sir. I have no transaction, sir. I have no transaction, sir. Oh, if it is nil return, have a look at it. GSTR 1, GSTR 3B or GSTR 4. Nil return. Nil return. Nil return if you have not filed in time. 250 rupees is a fixed penalty. 250 rupees is a fixed penalty. No, sir. I am having the turnover up to 1.5 crores, sir. I am having the turnover up to 1.5 crores, sir. Oh, that means your liability is limited to 1,000 rupees. No, sir. I am having the turnover 1.5 to 5 crores, sir. Your liability is limited to 2,500. And no, sir. My aggregate turnover is more than 5 crores. Then your liability is 100 rupees per day or 5,000. This provision will be implemented in the true spirit. Guys, are you all with me? This is the maximum penalty they are giving. 100 rupees is fixed. We don't, deny. But the maximum penalty consists of, actually the star should have been in the other place. The maximum penalty should be of this way. For 5,000, these are the other areas. If you have to file a nil return, you will not go up to 5,000. You will be paying only 250. And if your aggregate turnover is up to 1.5 crore, you will not pay 5,000. You will pay only up to 1,000. My dear, remember this is all under the CGST Act. This is all under the CGST Act. That means under the SGST Act it has to go for one more thing. So you have to read the question carefully. Late fee under the CGST Act. 250,000 maximum, 2,500 maximum, and if your turnover is more than 5 crores, then 5,000 maximum per return it can go. Everybody, if the question is what is the late fee payable under the GST law, then you have to write under CGST and SGST put together. That means for a nil return, 250 plus 250. 500 will be the penalty. 500 will be the late fee. Guys, are you all with me? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
And mark it very, very, very important, my dear. This is an examination area, pick area. Mark it very, very important. I am expecting a question on late fee. My dear brothers and sisters, with this I am covering all the amendments. And also the complete area of Qrmp. Guys, RTP question number 7. I'll go to the RTP. I'll go to the May 22. I am going to question number 7. Look at this. Mr. Ayushman, a registered person having intra-state aggregate turnover of 1.2 crores. Intra-state aggregate turnover of 1.2 crores in the preceding financial year did not file GSTR 3B for the month of September 2021 by 10th November 2021. The amount of tax payable for the month of September is 8 lakh. All his supplies are intra-state supplies. That means you have to calculate CGST and SGST. Is there any late fees payable for the same? If yes, what is the late fees payable? Will your answer be different if Mr. Ayushman has an intrastate aggregate turnover of 5 crores? Turnover of 5 crores in the preceding financial year. Will your answer be different if the amount of tax payable in the GSTR 3B is nil? What they are trying to ask you? They are trying to ask you the late fee. Now tell me, my dear, what is a late fee if the tax payable is nil? First, we'll go on a reverse approach. The tax payable is nil. What is a late fee payable? For CGST and SGST, all intrastate supply. That means
250 plus 250,
250 plus 250 maximum
500.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah. If the aggregate turnover is 5 crores in the preceding financial year, actually they should have given more than 5 crore. They have made a mistake. It's a trap. We will have to check. We will come back to that. I am keeping that in a fixed code. But let's go. If the turnover is 1.2 crore, can we answer? Turnover is up to 1.5 crores. Therefore, the late fee is restricted to 1,000 rupees. 1,000 rupees maximum. 2,000 rupees. Let's go ahead and check the answer. Come 7A. See, I am also trying to answer only with you guys. Okay. So let us go ahead and see what they have answered. As per section 47, read with notification number 19 bar blah blah blah, the registered person whose aggregate turnover up to 1.5 crores in the preceding financial year. Here they are very clearly saying, right? Less than or equal to, meaning thereby up to. Okay, up to 1.5 crore. Preceding financial year who fails to furnish the return, the maximum amount shall be 2,000. The late fees payable in this given case and the amount of late fee payable is 2,000. 1,000 each, 1,000 each. My dear brothers and sisters, welcome back. We have successfully completed the payment chapter and its examination approach today. And now we are heading towards the next category, which is, returns chapter we have completed. Now we are heading towards a payment chapter. Guys, any other questions in payment chapter, you are free to ask me at any point of time. You have my number. Definitely your queries will be clarified. Don't worry. Till your examination, my support will always be there with a turnaround time of maximum 1 day. Right? So let's go ahead and analyze the next concept. Straight away we are into the payment chapter. So what is the targeted area in the payment chapter? My dear, two important things which I want to highlight in this payment chapter. First one is transfer of amount. Transfer of excess deposit from one head to another head. Probable question. One of the probable question is this particular concept called excess money deposited in any minor or major head. Can it be transferred to another account And remember, this is not via PMT 06. Because if you do any payment via PMT 06, tell me, my dear brothers and sisters, can I transfer, can I use it for any other purpose except for the GST or 3B?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Only after netting off of GST or 3B, only after adjusting my set of liabilities, excess if any, I can apply for the refund, but I cannot use it before. I cannot touch it before filing the GST or 3B. That money is locked, earmarked money. I am not talking about that PMT 06. Qrmp person's payment I am not talking about. I am talking about the general person's compliance. As a general person compliance, my dear brothers and sisters, please keep it back of mind. Please keep it back of mind that for a general person, say for example, I'll take again Pooja's sister. Pooja's sister has to deposit 25 into CGST and 25 into SGST, but portal you will have the form like CGST, IGST and SGST. So there is a trick. So sister erroneously deposited SGST money into IGST. Now what shall sister do? Can straight away sister adjust the money? Sorry, she can't. That is table specific. Can she transfer the money from IGST to SGST? Yes, she can. What is the formality, sir? She has to file form GST PMT 09 to transfer the money. Sir, from IGST tax to CGST tax alone possible. From IGST tax, she can transfer the money to tax, interest, penalty, late fee. For any head, she can transfer. For any head, from one major head or minor head to any major head or minor head, transfer is possible. My dear, this is a very, very, very popular testing. Mark it important. There is one probability you may be tested from here. And the next one is straight away interest calculation. Yeah, nothing before that. Sir, order of adjustment we will discuss with ITC chapter, which you would have already thorough with, and restriction 86B also we will discuss there along. We will straight away go to interest calculation alone. Sir, interest calculation we have discussed in the previous Qrmp chapter itself. I have given you the hint of interest payment. Now also I will just touch upon the interest payment. My dear brothers and sisters, interest and payment, there are two important aspects which you have to understand. Sir, interest is normal delay in filing return or suppression of liability, suppression of output tax liability, or excess availment of input tax credit. There are two questions which will be reflecting over here, my dear. Therefore we have to be careful. Why, sir? Normal delay in filing return which you have filed within the due course, only there is a delay in filing, you will be governed by section 50 subsection 1. And the rate of interest is 18% per annum. Remember this per annum, very, very important. There are a lot of careless mistakes happening. I will tell about the careless mistakes also. And if it is coming under suppression of output tax liability and excess availment of input tax credit, you will be governed under section 50 subsection 3. My dear, the rate of interest is 24% per annum. This basic distinction you have to keep back in mind. You have to read the question very carefully, and if the question uses the word output tax liability is willfully suppressed, not disclosed intentionally, like that kind of words came now, you have to go for 24% under 53. ITC excess availed, repaid, like this kind of wordings comes now, you have to go 24% under 50 subsection 3. If it's not there, sir, return was belatedly filed, sir, abdina, you have to calculate the 18%. My dear, remember also this 50 subsection 1, 18% is payable on net liability, payable in cash. So what does it mean, sir? It means output tax liability minus input tax credit, whereas here interest is payable on gross violation. Here interest is payable straight away on the gross violation. What does it mean, sir? Sir, here output tax liability is, let's say, 5 lakhs. Input tax credit eligible is say 3 lakhs, and I have filed a belated return. Balance payable in cash is 2 lakhs. My dear brothers and sisters, please understand, I will pay for the delay period. For the delay period. Sir, what is the delay period? Let us understand, this is the return for the month of March. What is the due date for filing the return for the month of March? Due date for March tax period.
22nd subsequent.
On or before?
22nd of April.
Normal only. I am not saying Qrmp. Normal person on or before 20th of April. Just now we saw in the returns chapter, correct?
Yes, sir.
Only for Qrmp person, if it is below first bottom half of India 22, top half of India 24. Right, my dear? Keep it that way. So, sir, when did they actually file, sir? Actual date of filing? Actual date of filing, let us understand, is 15th of May. 15th of May they got. So what is the delay period? What is the delay period? How to calculate delay period? The delay period is from
20.
to. From what day? From
16th May.
excellent, yeah. From 21st of April 2000, because that is the due date within which I have to. 20th April is the due date for filing, yeah. Delay means 21st onwards I should take, na. My dear brothers and sisters, what is the actual day? 15th May 2022. So what is the difference between this day and this day?
25 days.
Oh, I should have done reverse. Plus 1 should be added, yeah. So 25 days the number of delay. 25 days the number of delay in filing the returns. Guys, we should calculate interest now for 25 days. How to calculate? It is 2 lakhs. Sorry. It is 2 lakh multiplied by 18% multiplied by 25 day divided by 365. Guys, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
This is how you should calculate, yeah. My dear brothers and sisters, sometime, out of concentration lapse, students are forgetting to put the days proportion. They are straight away writing 36,000 as interest payable. That means per annum calculation they are giving. Are you with me, my dear? This is lack of concentration, careless mistake. Avoid this. And very clearly you have to bring in the number of days calculation. Guys, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
In contrast, let us understand, Pooja's sister has suppressed the output tax liability. Which is to be the month of March. Belonging to the month of March, sister has suppressed a turnover of 5 lakhs. She has suppressed the turnover of 5 lakhs. Please understand, my dear. And this has been identified during the audit process, and later on tax is asked to be paid on the same, and sister pays tax on this transaction on, let us assume she is paying the tax on this transaction on 18th of November 2022 she is paying. Department identified, and she said, now had the tax is regularly paid, normally paid. If normally paid, what is the due date? If normally paid, it would have paid on what due date? It would have paid on 20th of April 2022, because this transaction is belonging to March 2022. This transaction belonging to March 2022. That means it should have normally paid on or before 20th of April. So now, what is the delay? We have to calculate from what day to what day? From next day of the due date for filing, which is 21st of April 2022. And what day it has been actually paid? It has been actually paid on 18th of November 2022. So my dear brothers and sisters, so number of days of delay.
112 days.
Number of days of delay. This minus this. Since Excel I am adding one more day. because it will reduce 1 day from there. 212 days is the number of days of delay. And while calculating interest, my dear, please look at this. Interest payable equal to entire 5 lakh multiplied by how much percentage? 24% multiplied by 212 divided by 365. Guys, I'll be end up paying this much as an interest. Rounded off to the nearest of 1. Always round off to the nearest of 1. Here 2466. Here 69699. Are you all with me, my dear? Everybody, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Sir, suppose it is not output tax liability, understood, sir. It is input tax credit excess availed, sir. Bar ITC excess availed. No change, yeah. Same provision. Same provision, same procedure, nothing changes. How much ever is the excess figure or how much is the suppression for the entire amount, you are expected to calculate and you are expected to pay. That's it. Are you with me, my dear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
This is the type of questions I'm anticipating on interest for you guys. Calculation, number crunching is possible. Mark it very important. And apart from that, payment chapter, what question is possible, sir? Order in which output tax liability can be adjusted. That is to say, sir, 4 months returns not filed. Tell me, my dear, if any payment is made, first which month will be adjusted?
Payment of which has highest liability.
My dear, remember, liability adjusted on FIFO basis. Liability adjusted on FIFO basis. Highest amount of highest delay will be first adjusted. Next to that, what is highest amount? That will next highest due date, that will be adjusted. So periodically, first 4th month will be adjusted. Next 3rd month outstanding will be adjusted. Next 2nd month will be adjusted. Next only 1st month. Then only current month they will come. Guys, are you all comfortable? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
My dear, use your mic for the sake of non-disturbance. I'm not using the chat box extensively because if the chat boxes keep typing now, I will find it difficult. So please use your mic if at all any doubt or any issues are there. Please speak about doubt. My dear, with the interest chapter, these are the areas. Sorry, with payment chapter, these are the pick areas I'm focusing. Yeah, one payment transfer, there might be a question. 2, there might be a question on MCQ questions are possible in payment chapter. What are all the areas I have to focus, sir? Sir, the mode in which cash can be deposited, validity of the challan created, CIN, how many digit is CIN, how many digit is CPIN. Okay, my dear, these kind of questions can come. If the credit amount deposited not reflected now, what form you will have to file. These kind of questions can be a pick area for you. So you have to focus on those areas. And for every adjustment in electronic liability register, whether you will have transaction reference ID number, yes, you have unique transaction ID reference number available. What are all the debits and credits in electronic liability register? What payment of tax by cash, whether it is debited in electronic cash ledger or credited in electronic cash ledger. This type of questions can come. TDS and TCS will come and sit where? In electronic cash ledger, not in electronic credit ledger. These kind of MCQ questions are also possible. Yeah, payment chapter la, these are the pick areas. Barring this, there is no scope for direct questions. Are you all comfortable with payment chapter? Shall we go to valuation chapter? Valuation chapter is going to be very, very interesting. Everybody, are you all with me?
Sir,
Any
I have
question?
one doubt, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, pa. Go ahead, Mahendra.
Sir, regarding this amendment, sir, if after amendments I need to pay the interest, no, sir, on outward supply, that one at what rate of interest we have to pay, sir? Either 18 or 20%?
What amendment? First, you tell me.
Sir, due to amendment, there is an increase in outward tax liability, sir.
How come amendment can increase your output tax liability? Tell me, how
sir,
come
due
an
to
amendment? See, you are reading canons of taxation, right? One of the canons of taxation
yes,
is
sir.
canons of certainty. Every law is forcibly following. Have you ever seen retrospective tax liability being inculcated by Indian government in the past 8 years?
No.
Where is the question of amendment increasing your liability? Or, my dear Mahendra, you are not framing your doubt properly. What is in your mind, you should ask in a very clear manner. If you know Telugu, you can converse in Telugu. If you know Malayalam, you can converse in Malayalam. If you know Tamil, you can converse in Tamil. No problem. I can understand all the 3 regional languages.
Yeah, I got it, sir. Okay.
அப்பா தமிழா தெலுங்கா மலையாளமா யார்ப்பா நீ? ஐயா,
Sir, I got it, sir.
your doubt clarified. See,
It
end of
can't
the day,
be.
whole objective
Yes,
is,
sir.
while class is winding up, there should not be
Yes, sir.
point lingering in your mind. Answer should be specific in your mind. Is that debit note, credit note amendment you are talking about? My dear
Yes,
Mahendra?
sir.
Yeah? My dear Mahendra, remember, debit note and credit note, no interest will be payable. Why? I'll tell you. Listen carefully. If this is a doubt you should have asked in there, yeah. See, please understand. I am issuing a tax invoice today. I am issuing a tax invoice today. My dear, in the tax invoice, I am saying it is 1 lakh. I will be paying tax on 1 lakh, no? Later on, because of lot of other
Yes,
aspects, change or increase in the value, whatever is identified, debit note is getting issued. Only when debit note is issued, my additional liability floors up. And also understand, I am issuing my debit note on 1st of January 2023. First, can I issue debit note on 1st of January 2023? Can I issue debit note for the tax invoice
No,
issued
sir.
on 30/3/2022? Can I issue debit note on 1/1/2023?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Very good. No, Mahendra. Yes. For debit note, no time limit restriction. Read section 34 carefully. Time limit restriction is only applicable for credit note, not for debit note. Another important area. So, please understand, on 31st of March, let's understand 18% is a tax rate. I would have paid the tax on that day. I would have paid 18,000. My recipient would have taken only 18,000. Government would also receive 18,000. So, no problem. But additional liability flows only on 1/1. Please understand, my dear Mahendra. Let's understand. Additionally, I am billing 50,000 for that. And for that, I am paying again 18,000. My dear brother, please appreciate, my recipient also can take the credit only on this day. So there is no loss to the government. Only after paying 9,000 via debit note to the government, collecting and paying 9,000 to the government, I am actually going and taking 9,000 credit from the government. Based on the debit note, if I claim my credit on 33, then interest is payable. That is not possible in the law itself. So, for debit note, there is no concept of interest is to be paid on this 9,000 because that is additional liability. It is not deferred liability. And there is no loss to the government. Whatever government received, only that it gave as a ITC to the recipient. Mahendra, tell me, on 33/2022, government gave ITC to recipient 18,000 or 27,000?
18,000.
Correct. 18,000 government received, 18,000 it transferred as ITC. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Is there any loss to the government?
No, sir.
This additional liability floors up because of various business scenarios. Yeah. You would have, see, it might be even a disputed revenue. You would have worked more. So you will be explaining that. Who actually agrees in this world for extra payment? You tell me, Mahendra, if you are the person liable to pay, will you pay me extra 50,000 if I ask immediately?
No.
It will be a dispute for you and me then. Hello, my dear.
Yes, sir.
Now apply accounting standard AS 9. Disputed revenue. When there is no uncertainty towards realization, can I recognize that revenue? Prudence concept?
No, we
I
can't
can recognize the revenue only when there is a certainty to realize. This 50,000 might be disputed. Yeah, I'm concluding this only at a later point of time. Liability also comes only from the later point of time. Therefore, no interest. Clear, my dear Mahendra?
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions lingering in your mind, my dear? Please be frank. Don't be hesitant. See, I will be throwing 4 or 5 questions to get clarity of what is your question. So don't hold back. Until you satisfy, you have the right to ask question. I have the obligation to answer it. For that only I have been coming for teaching. For that only, for
Sir.
that purpose only you are coming into the class. Tell me, my dear.
Sir, can you explain that 24%
Yeah, what is
calculation?
24% calculation is straightforward, ma. Nothing but here there is no concept of net cash payable, ma. Straight away suppressed figure or excess enjoyed figure, you have to straight away calculate 24%. That's it. For the number of periods of delay. And from the suppression due date, we have to take here. Pooja sister has suppressed this transaction in the month of March. Had she not suppressed, when she would have reported and paid tax? Had she not suppressed, when she would have paid tax? 20th of April,
Sir,
she would have paid.
20th for April.
Correct? So, government was due to receive tax on 5 lakh and 20th April, but government did not receive. Therefore, 21st onwards, government started charging you the time value of money, which is interest. Is it clear, sister?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Guys, it's time for us to get into something called valuation. Value of supply. That's any other questions in payment chapter, my dear? Any other questions in payment chapter? Okay, fine. Straight away, I'm getting into valuation chapter for all of you guys. So straight away coming in, my dear, valuation. This is common for goods and services. Compulsory 5-mark area is here in this area. So you all have to be at your best in solving this area. Common for goods and services and common for all the acts under GST law. This is the simpliciter representation of value of supply. If two conditions are satisfied, then I will go ahead only with inclusions and exclusions to arrive at the value of supply. If any of these two conditions is not satisfied, then I will go for valuation rules, which is not the part of our syllabus. So subsection 4 and subsection 5 is there. You just have to understand it is there, but it is not part of syllabus. So for us at the inter level, we have only subsection 1, 2 and 3. Guys, are you all with me? Shall we take up this discussion? Right? First one, how to go about valuation. Sir, for valuation, first and foremost condition you have to check is whether supplier and recipients are unrelated. Sir, who is unrelated? It is very difficult, not defined in the law. Appa, who is unrelated? Other than related is called as unrelated. Can we say so? Who is related party? Is it defined? Yes. For the purpose of this act, explanation given under section 15 clearly defines who is related. 8 points are shared. Those 8 people are called as related person. Those 8 people are called as related person. Sir, what you said, sir? Section 15. Yeah, look at this, my dear. Section 15. Value of taxable supply. And in this, if you go and see, look at explanation. For the purpose of this act, not for the purpose of this section. That means it is as good as definition. Related person means 8 categories defined there. Such person or officers and directors of one another's business. Such persons are legally recognized as partners. Such persons are employer and employee. Such person directly, indirectly owns, controls 25% or more out of outstanding voting share. One or more directly, indirectly controls others. Both of them directly, indirectly controls the third person. Together they are directly, indirectly controlling the third person. They are members of the same family. My dear brothers and sisters, please understand who is related party. Who is related party as per CGST Act is a direct 4-mark question and you are expected to write 8 phrases the same way. You cannot simply write directors in one another's business, partners of the company, employer and employee, holding more than 25% or more, directly controlled, jointly controlled. same family. Like this miniature version and all you write now, you will not get marks. Am I loud and clear? I'm a person who hates memory. Okay, I don't want you to mug up, but left with no choice, I'm saying this is a blatant and direct question wherein only if you reproduce all these 8 points you'll get marks. Guys, are you all with me? Shall we proceed? Yeah. So transaction should not be between any of these 8 categories. If the transaction is not with these 8 categories, then my dear, we can go for second one where price is the sole consideration. My dear, price means first there must have been a sale. Sir, what if it has been given as a gift, free sample, donation and all? Sorry, condition is said to be violated because gift, free sample, donation. Now, what is the price? Price is there. Price is there, consideration is there. No, la. So now I don't consider there. Price is the sole consideration. My dear, what do you mean by sole consideration? It must be solely monetary consideration. It should be in money or money's form. It can be Indian rupee, it can be foreign currency, it can be traveler check, it can be negotiable instrument, it can be online payment, it can be anything, but it should be money's or money's form. Section 2 clause 75 defines under the CGST Act what do you mean by money. That very clearly says any instrument recognized as a modem of exchange by RBI is called as money. So therefore, my dear, all these are the modes of money. Cryptocurrency is not money. I am very clearly saying cryptocurrency is not money. Market important. Right. So if two conditions are satisfied, buyer, that is to say supplier and recipients are unrelated, price is the sole consideration, then you have to check for inclusions and exclusions. So look at this, my dear. Yes, sir. Whether both the conditions are satisfied? Yes, satisfied. Then we have to go to subsection 2 and subsection 3. Subsection 2 talks about inclusions which logically should have been included. If not included, we have to include. Analytical aspects. My dear, inclusion is not mathematical equation of 1 plus 2 plus 3. Yesterday, you remember e-way bill, I have been teaching you the same logic. You remember, my dear? Consignment value discussion, how I gave you?
Yes, sir.
The same way, inclusions and exclusions are the logical analysis part. Don't do it mathematically. Very carefully, you have to observe the facts over there. How I have to go for the facts over there, sir? Come. I will take you the facts over there. First one, let us take the inclusions. Point number 1, taxes. See, inclusions, I call it as PISTA. Okay, I call it as, I have given an acronym called PISTA. Like say for example, I am going to a normal milk shop and I am asking for one normal milk. They will say 10 rupee. They have a flavor milk also. Badam milk, they have pista milk there. If I say pista milk, what will happen to the price? How much I am supposed to pay? Same 10 rupee or more price?
More price.
More price.
More price.
That means if pista is added, value is increasing. Just one small acronym.
Yes,
What does P stands for? Interest, late fee, penalty. Additional consideration for delayed payment. My dear, penalty, interest, late fee for delayed payment of consideration if you are making a payment. Then you have to add it. If it is collected, so you have to first read the question carefully. Why, sir? Answer my question, my dear. If at all, I am your customer, you are charging me interest, late fee, penalty for the delayed payment. Now tell me whether our relationship will be, good then.
No.
No.
You might actually raise it in the invoice. But later on, when I call and request explaining my position, you may do what?
Reverse or reduce that amount.
You may even waive it. Yeah. Arey Baba, take for example, I'm telling you practical example. Mobile phone, postpaid connection, bill not paid within time. Service provider says 100 rupees penalty. You are calling to the customer care and say this month alone this got delayed. Next month onwards this will not happen. Reverse 100 rupees. They are reversing. That 100 rupees. That means you have to read the question very clearly. Whether interest, late fee, penalty is Collected. Why, sir? In time of supply chapter, this is covered under section 12 subsection 5 or 13 subsection 5 under the name called additional consideration. You will recognize it only when it is realized. Liability attracts only when you realize. What if I waive? Charged but not, see, this amount is communicated but I waived, meaning thereby, remember the first and foremost principle. What is value of taxable supply? If you want to answer this question, common sense is required. Now let me ask you a straightforward question. This online crash course, how much is the fees you paid?
1,000.
Everybody answer. 1,000?
5,000.
Hello?
5,000.
5,000.
5,000 you have paid. Very good. Online revision crash course you paid 5,000. Question number 1. Okay. What is the amount pay? See, when someone inquires, they will call us, sir, what is the fees? Inquiry person will ask what is the fees. Point number 2. SIRC will tell what? The charges for crash course is 5,000, correct? They will say the charges for crash course is 5,000, correct?
Yes, sir.
Everybody,
Yes, sir. Yes,
you are
sir.
with me?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Next point to
sir.
that. Next point to that. How much is the amount you paid? 5,000. Napa, எல்லாத்துக்கும் 5,000 you are giving the same answer. My dear, what is considered? See, fundamental amount is one and the same. From the perspective of the stakeholder and their position, name changes. Prospective person asked us what is fee. Inquiry person asked what is fee. For you, is it not the cost? So if someone asks what is the cost you incurred for crash course, you will say
5,400 or 5,000.
whatever it be, the total amount. But now understand this 5,000, whatever you call it as a cost, SIRC will call it as consideration. What is consideration? Department calls it as value of supply. Are you all with me, my dear? Appo only consideration received. What do you mean by consideration? Quid pro quo. Something in return. That should vest with the supplier. Sir, suppose SIRC gives you all 1,000 rupees discount back. Now tell me what will be the consideration?
4,000.
4,000.
Sir, you are going to a supermarket or you are going to a showroom, dress showroom, where there is a beautiful dress available. It put 10,000 price within bracket. They said 20% discount. What is the price you will pay?
8,000.
8,000.
8,000.
Why?
8,000.
Why you say 8,000? Why not 10,000?
Because we pay only cost we pay is 8,000.
Look at this. Transaction value is the price actually paid or payable. Can you see this? It is the price actually paid or payable. That means consideration is elevated to value of supply. When there is no consideration, no price. Sir, consideration received is only 4,000. That means value of supply can also be 4,000. But there are some suppressions possible. That is why inclusion was given and defined in the law. Now, my dear, answer my question. You are all businessman. Think from the perspective of the businessman. Any cost incurred for the supply, will you recover or you will not recover?
Will recover.
The whole objective of the businessman is to make a profit. You are not the businessman is not there for philanthropy, correct? Everybody, you agree to the statement?
Yes, sir.
Appo you will recover all the cost, correct? Sometimes that recovered cost may be disclosed as a separate line item in the name of reimbursement to avoid the taxation. That is why inclusions are given under the law. So to include in the value, prima facie, that money should have been collected, received by the supplier. Now you understand interest late fee penalty charged but waived whether supplier is receiving any money?
No, sir.
No, sir.
That is why I say read the question carefully. Question says interest or penalty charged within brackets waived later. Whether I want to include it?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Question says interest collected for delayed payment. Then I have to include because money is flowing, consideration is coming from the recipient to supplier. அப்போ இன்ட்ரெஸ்டோ லேட் ஃபீயோ பெனால்ட்டியோ லுக் அட் த சிங்க்ரனைசேஷன். Time of supply chapter says only on realized basis liability attracts. Even value of supply chapter says only if you received you have to include in the value. And next question, interesting question, sir. How much I have to include? Very, very interesting question. Interest, late fee or penalty? If collected. Sir, read the question. Sir, question says, read the question. Question says, all are exclusive of tax. That means what I am supposed to do? Let us understand penalty received is 2000 rupees and the tax rate attracted is, let's say 5% is the tax rate. See, if the question says all are exclusive, my dear, value of supply will be added with penalty, and penalty I will add straight away 2000 into the value of supply, and 5% will be applied on 2000. So 2000 into 5% will be the tax liability. Suppose question says, the same question says all are inclusive of tax. Instead of exclusive, the question uses the word all are inclusive of tax. My dear, 2000 penalty collected will not be 2000. Now this will change. What will happen, sir? Sir, I will treat it as inclusive of tax. I will treat it as inclusive of tax. How to do? 2000 divided by 100 plus tax. 105 is the actual tax rate multiplied by 100 will be the value of supply. That means penalty amount will be added this much, and on that amount collected as a GST will be this much. Total amount when you check, my dear, it will be 2000. Guys, are you comfortable? Everybody, this is a very, very minute point. You have to carefully watch. Suppose question is silent. Question does not say inclusive, does not say exclusive. It is silent. What is the treatment we will give? If question is silent, what is the treatment we will give? No, my dear, if the question is silent, treat it as a inclusive. Treat it as inclusive. What is the logic? Appa, let us understand. A traffic constable is stopping you in the signal and is collecting the penalty of 1000 rupees. If GST is also asked or on top of it, will you happily pay?
No, sir.
And the $2000 way you will be scolding that fellow and you will be paying. Correct?
Yes.
You will never understand you have violated something that led to his catch up. Anna, you will say police currents are harassing. Why you are violating the traffic signal? If you have not violated, he would not have caught you. Irony. People always blame others. So this is how we have to go for interest, late fee, penalty. Guys, are you all comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Right. Next one. So interest, late fee, penalty is completed. Yeah. So we are going for the next one. Any doubt here, my dear? So Pistala P is completed. Next one, I. What is I, sir? Incidental expenses including commission and packing. See, all of these. I can bring in anything under the world of incidental expenses, but carefully observe something. Incidental expenses charged by the supplier to the recipient. My dear, that means what? That means what? It should have recovered. Guys, now ask my question. Answer my question. Sir, freight charges incurred for delivery of goods. Freight charges incurred for delivery of goods. Tell me whether you will recover it or not.
Recovers.
You will recover, right? See, sometimes question used to say FOR basis. Sir, what do you mean by FOR basis, sir? Supplier is liable to deliver the goods at recipient's place, meaning thereby freight charges are freight charges is the obligation of a supplier. So they can also test. Sometimes they will say they will not give the statement. This statement will be hidden. This statement will not be given. Okay, please mark my word. That statement will not be given. They will say recipient has paid the freight charges. Now tell me, my dear, whether freight charges it would have been already included. Whether the value would have included. See, two different things. Okay, I will come to this later. First, let me ask the first one. Supplier pays the freight. Now tell me, if you are a supplier, whether you will actually incur or not. Right?
Will incur.
Case 1. Because as per contract you have to deliver. You have to incur. There is no choice. But the question is, have you recovered it from the buyer? Recovered from buyer, then we have to include in the value of supply. Why, sir? I am collecting that incidental expenses from him. That means that is also incidental to my original supply. Therefore, I am including in the value of supply itself. Makes sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But there can be good supplier who decides not to recover. My dear, if I am not recovering, am I receiving any money for that?
No.
No, sir.
No,
When I
sir.
am not receiving any consideration, is it logical to include? Therefore, what I will do, I will not include.
Include.
Are you able to understand this fact?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Next probability. Sir, freight charges are the obligation of the supplier, but recipient has paid for the freight. My dear brothers and sisters, straight away please include this amount in value of supply. Because this is the liability of the supplier met by the recipient. Definitely to this extent, value of supply would have been reduced. Whole objective is to bring the arm's length price. Are you with me, my dear? Whole objective is to bring the arm's length price. That would not be there. Tell me, my dear, anybody in this world, will they incur the obligation of other person just like that?
No, sir.
Definitely there is something, this is to be included. Guys, are you all with me? Everybody? So I have completed 2 points. What is that, sir? Incidental expenses, if recovered, to be included. We have understood. Same way, we have also understood point number A. What does that say, sir?
Interest.
Any liability in relation to the supply which is incurred by the recipient. Obligation of the supplier met by the recipient. We understood it is also to be included. Guys, are you all with me? Right?
Yes, sir.
So what is left out? What is left out is T is left out and S is left out. So first let me teach you yes and then I'll come back to T. Very, very interesting stand is subsidy. My dear, analysis, post-analysis, I'm going to teach you straight away problems. We will solve 1 or 2 problems on the same line. Only then you will understand and appreciate how it works. Sir, subsidy. We have to answer this question with the following, understanding. And for this, my dear brothers and sisters, I just have to give you some basics. Okay. Subsidy. No. I have wrongly opened something here. 1 second, my dear. Okay. It's loading. I loaded. Yeah, here we go, my dear. Here we go. Have a look at it. This is the entire essence of subsidy. I request all of you to simultaneously write this chart in your notebook, right? Subsidy given by central government or state government. Guys, consideration definition excludes subsidy from government. Therefore, something is not at all consideration. Something is not to be considered as consideration. Can I consider that as value? This is why I given you the basic. Only what is formulating consideration can be included in the value.
Value.
Guys, are you getting this basic fundamental right? If something at the first place is not a consideration, you cannot bring it to the value. Exception is there. Schedule 1 transactions, deemed valuations, that is all there. This is a general thumb rule. Apo, subsidy from central government and state government is not at all considered as a consideration. Therefore, it is not included in the value of supply also. Other than central government, state government, including local authority, municipality, panchayats, anybody give, NGOs, anybody give, that's a consideration at first point. Second point is a question whether it is linked to the supply or it is not directly linked to the supply. Sir, it is directly linked to the supply. It is called value. Then it is to be included in the value of supply. If it is not directly linked to the supply, then we are not supposed to include to the value of supply. We have to simply ignore or exclude it. Guys, this is a tricky thing. You might definitely get a question on subsidy as one line adjustment in the valuation problem. Mark it very, very important. Guys, are you all comfortable? Everyone, have you completed this? Now listen to me with the example. What do you mean by subsidy directly linked to the price? Let's understand. Pooja sister is going to give a subsidy. Pooja sister is running an NGO and that NGO is going to give a discount to our Sriramulu. Sriramulu is a manufacturer of this mosquito bat. He is a manufacturer of this mosquito bat. He decided to supply to an old age home. Mosquito bats he decided to supply to old age home. Pooja Sisters NGO says, for every bat you supply to the old age home, for every bat you supply to the old age home, 50% I will give you. Now, Pooja Sisters NGO, is it a government, central government, is it state government?
No, sir.
No. And whether she said subsidy for every batch supplied, that means it's linked to the supplier or it is ad hoc contribution.
Linked to.
It is linked. Therefore, Sriramulu, what Sriramulu will do? He will charge 50% for as a consideration from the old age home and he will get 50% from Pooja sister. So as far as Sriramulu is concerned, 100% he will offer as a value of supply. Therefore, even though tax invoice raised to that old age home says 50%, I will add the 50% subsidy received from Pooja sister into this. Guys, are you all with me? Is it comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. In contrast, okay, Pooja Sisters NGO is giving subsidy to Sriramulu for what? For creating employment opportunity in the rural area. For creating employment opportunity in the rural area. Tell me, my dear brothers and sisters, is it directly linked to this bat supply?
No, sir.
Oh,
No, sir.
now tell me whether for the bat supplied to the old age home, whether I have to add the subsidy given by Pooja sister to the value?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Are you able to understand what is mean by directly linked to the price and what is mean by not directly linked to the price?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everybody? So my
Yes,
dear,
sir.
mark it important. This is what subsidy is all about. But interestingly, how it has to be applied in the question also a $1 million question. Shall we go and see how it is to be addressed in the examination? Now, it is a concept I have cleared you. Now, when it comes to examination, my dear brothers and sisters, have a look at the subsidy. This is very, 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 very interesting area. My dear, if question use the word considered or adjusted, presume, my dear, out of solving 30-40 questions and analyzing the fact I am telling you, this will not be given anywhere. So you have to be carefully picking up. Already they have reduced it in the price. That means we have to validate what they have done is correct or not. If it is correct, we have to ignore. If it is wrong, we have to add back. Only by solving more problems, you will get control over what I am saying. So don't try to memorize, try to understand. If the question says already considered or question says it is adjusted, meaning thereby first assume they have already reduced it from the value. That means you have to validate whether their reduction is correct or not. Yes sir, their reduction is correct. Then ignore because the treatment what they have given is correct. But if it is not correct, then you have to add it back. For example, question says subsidy from government. They have reduced it, adjusted, meaning thereby they have reduced it. Tell me, my dear, subsidy from government, I have to include, I have to exclude, I have to do anything? What I am supposed to do? Am I supposed to include or I am not supposed to include subsidy from government?
Not include.
Not to be included. They have said adjusted. That means they have reduced.
Yes, sir.
About correct treatment
Yes,
only,
sir.
na?
You have to add back.
Hey, why you have to add back? Yeah, why you have to add back?
To ignore.
Just
Because
ignore.
it is not a consideration.
Yeah, just ignore. Just ignore. They have given the correct treatment. Suppose subsidy from an NGO, subsidy from Puja NGO, adjusted, considered. For every bat they are giving consideration, it is adjusted. What does it mean? They have reduced
Reduced.
They have reduced it. Is it correct? Subsidy by NGO, non-government, that too directly linked. Is it correct?
No, sir.
No, sir.
About what we are supposed to do?
Add back.
I
Add
have
back.
to add back.
Guys, are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, this is something after solving 30-40 problems, I have derived this equation. You solve the problems, you will understand. Sir, question says not considered, not adjusted. Give the appropriate treatment. Sir, question says subsidy from Puja Sisters NGO, not adjusted. That means we will analyze whether it is to be included, not to be included. Puja Sisters NGO for every bat, included or not included?
Included.
Included, because it is other than government, directly linked to the price, therefore to be added, therefore we will add. Why we are adding? Because it is not considered, it is not reduced earlier. It is not at all considered. Therefore, I have to give the appropriate treatment. Are you all with me, my dear? Only when you solve problem, you will get to understand. And my dear, keep this adjustment very, very important. You will have an adjustment on subsidy. And finally, my dear, last one is taxes. My dear, when I say taxes, you have to be spot on. Why, sir? See, look at this taxes. Other than GST, any tax you are supposed to add, exception. Exception is TCS under Income Tax Act. We will solve a problem also to understand how it works. Sir, tax collected at source income tax law, we will collect on every scrap or sale in excess of 50 lakh under 206 AC, we will be collecting that figures. Correct, my dear? You will be collecting TCS, right? You will be reading all these provisions under Income Tax Act. Yeah, that money is collected over and above the base price. Yeah, that money is collected extra. Yeah, that should not be included in the value of supply. So, except TCS, all other taxes. Sir, what do you mean by all other taxes? VAT, central excise, like that for on goods which is not subjected to GST. If you pay any tax, it is to be added, provided if that is separately mentioned in the invoice and recovered from the buyer. That's very important. If it is recovered from the for example, I'm telling you, okay, example I'm telling you, Mahendra is renting the building on rent. Mahendra is giving his building on rent to Sriramulu, and here Mahendra is collecting the property tax from Sriramulu. Now, property tax is to be paid by the owner. That's what the understanding is. But that is recovered from Sriramulu. That means, my dear, it's an additional flow of consideration, right? Property tax is other than GST, right?
Yes, sir.
And it is recovered also. Therefore, I will be paying. And our question says this way: Mahendra has not recovered, Mahendra has not collected, or Mahendra himself paid the property tax. No, nothing is collected from Sriramulu. Now you will include?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Guys, are you able to analyze the questions correctly now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And my dear brothers and sisters, this is what inclusion PISTA is all about. We have analyzed all the aspects of penalty, incidental expenses, subsidy, taxes, and amount paid. My dear, here is where your exact testing lies. And last, exclusion is discount. Sir, before or at the time of supply, if discount is made, the primary check is whether it is reflected in the invoice. Only if the discount is reflected in the invoice, you will reduce it. And if it is not reflected, then no deduction will be allowed. Same time, if discount is given post supply, Three conditions prima facie has to be satisfied. First one, it should have been agreed prior to the supply. Second, discount must be against specific invoice. That means 1-to-1, not ad hoc discount. Invoice wise in discount detail has to be present. And third one, recipient should have reversed the ITC. Only when all these conditions are satisfied, you are allowed to reduce it from your turnover. If not, discount given will not be allowed to be reduced. It will be continued as such. Guys, are you all with me? Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, discount based but not a big testing will come. Simply there will be a testing whether it is reflected in the invoice or not. There will be a question. And this scenario, whether it is pre-existing or see, emotional discounts post supply will not be entertained. Have it that back of mind. So with this, what we can do now, we can try to solve the valuation problem, and we will try to identify whether we are able to solve it to perfection or not. Let's go. Let's go and check in RTP whether we have any valuation questions. See, if you want to solve the valuation question, you should be thorough with all the chapters prior to valuation. Only then you can think and touch about valuation. That's the beauty of it. Okay, nevertheless, I'll go and check with mock test paper they have given. No, we will check in the mock test paper. Okay. Here we have a question. Yeah. Straight away, Riddhi and Co. A very, very, very popular old overall question. Tomorrow I'll teach you how to approach overall question. Yeah, okay. That here we have question number B. It is an interesting question. Now, my dear, cases on, cases on, cases on. Look at this. Kashiv Limited, a registered supplier, has supplied machinery to Garam Dharam Limited, a supplier registered in the same state. So, it the same state means it's obviously going to be intrastate supply. It provides you the following particulars regarding the same. Price of the machinery exclusive of tax and discount is 5,50,000, and part fitted in the machinery at the premises of Garam Limited, that is to say installation charges, almost like, okay, amount has been paid by Garam Limited directly to the supplier. However, it was Kashiv's liability to pay the said amount. My dear, what they are trying to say, it is an obligation of the supplier paid by the recipient. What to do, my dear?
Recipient.
Include.
Include.
It is to be included. So the 20,000 is to be included. Next, installation and testing charges on the machinery not included in the price. Tell me, my dear, if you are a supplier, installation and testing charges, will you recover or not?
Yes,
Yes, sir. We'll recover.
Definitely will recover. No, therefore that is also to be included in the price. Discount of 2% on the price of machinery mentioned in item number 1 recorded in the invoice. My dear, discount recorded in the invoice at the time of supply. Eligible to reduce or not?
Yes,
sir.
That means
Eligible.
2% on point number 1. That means 5,50,000 reduced by, multiplied by 2%. How much it will be? 20, 11,000.
11,000.
11,000 will be reduced. And point number 5, Kashiv Limited provides additional discount of 1% at the year end based on additional purchase of machinery for which adjustment is made at the year end without any changes in the individual transaction. Tell me, my dear, is it acceptable?
No.
No, sir.
Based on additional purchases for which the machinery, for which adjustment is made at the end of the financial year without any change in the individual transaction. That means transaction wise discount they are not giving. They are giving you only ad hoc discount. Can I take ad hoc discount as such?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So what is the likely answer to for this question? 5,50,000 add 20,000 add 25,000, so 5,95,000 minus 11,000. Answer must be 5,84,000. Shall we go and check out, my dear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm
Yes,
agree
sir.
with that.
So let's go ahead and check the answer for this question. My dear brothers and sisters, look at the answer. It is total taxable value of 5,84,000. Guys, direct mock test paper we are solving. Are we able to analyze the answer? See, you might not be able to write this and all now. Your real success lies in the presentation. Explanation of why you are adding, why you are reducing. Nothing but they would have said 15, 2A, 2B, 2C, they would have said. So you are expected to give the explanation. Why I am reducing this? Because discount is mentioned in the invoice. Therefore, it is eligible for reduction. You have to write. Why I am including this too? Because it is incidental or obligation incurred by the obligation of the supplier met by the recipient. You have to write that. But my dear brothers and sisters, assuming that you will write your understanding, why I am adding, why I am reducing, assuming that you will do, are we able to analyze the answer to perfection?
Sir.
This
Yes,
is
sir.
what the success is all meant. My dear, latest mock test paper la, I picked this question for your solution, and we walked through this question. We are capable of solving. My humble request will be, I have now educated you how to, look into the valuation chapter. You have to take all the book back and institute ISM illustrations. Solve that alone more than sufficient. Solve institute book back. That is more than sufficient. Can you do that, my dear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everybody.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
And please go through all whatever I said today. As I told you, I'll be sharing the notes for the 5 chapters, whatever we discussed. My dear, yesterday I covered 2 chapters, registration, tax, invoice. Today we are covering returns,
Chapter.
payments, and value of supply.
Value of supply.
Tomorrow we are going to take up 2 important area. First area will be input tax credit chapter, and next will be overall question. 2 important question. Balance area I will not touch. If at all you have any doubt, tell me, because those you would have covered extensively. So I have no problem in that. Today I have also touched upon revision of composition scheme. If you remember, while reading, while taking you through the returns analysis, I covered major of composition scheme, quickly giving the insight about their eligibility, restrictions, and all those stuff, and their return compliance also we have seen. So composition scheme supplier is a kind of covered only. So my dear brothers and sisters, don't expect me to get into exemption and RCM transactions and all, because everything is important there. If we touch that, we cannot see any other topic. But there are topics which we have to touch, and which there is surprises unfolding to you, especially the first type of question, as you have seen here. Especially the first type of question, as you could see here, this overall question. My dear brothers and sisters, there is no direct solution or application for this type of overall question. You have to train your mind on presentation. That I will do tomorrow, right, my dear? So please do revise and come. I'll also share this 5 chapters notes plus input tax credit chapter notes for you guys. So go ahead to revise. Wishing you all success. As I told you, we have whatever the time lost in the initial time, I have compensated, and I'm really appreciating for your patient listening. Thank you so much for the cooperation. Go ahead to solve everything. Solve everything and come back. We will be looking at ITC and overall questions tomorrow. Go ahead, my dear. Thank you so much all for your time. Good day, my dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Thank you so much.